Lakewood Ranch. So your kids just got home from school and they are hungry and they're grabbing for the chips and the cookies. You're pressed for time and you really want a way to incorporate some more healthy foods in their diet. So we're gonna show you how to do that today. And I'm joined with my co-host, Karen Diaz. She is a Lakewood Ranch resident and author and dietitian of this book, Within, Making Peace with Food and Body Image to Create a Healthy Family and Home. So we're in this beautiful kitchen by Stock Signature Homes in the Lake Club. Isn't it amazing?
I feel so lucky that we get to be here for this in this kitchen. It's gorgeous and I love the backsplash.
It's beautiful. So in your book, I love how you separated your book into two parts. So the first part is kind of looking within, assessing your relationship with food, and the second part is how to go beyond that once you've healed your relationship with yourself. So can you tell us more about that and what we're doing today?
Yeah, so as a dietitian, before I actually moved to Lakewood Ranch, I actually ran the nutrition department at an eating disorder clinic. So all of my clients were young, 11 to 21 years old, girls and boys. And we would work on their relationship with food and how nutrition plays into that. And then I would be sending them home and I noticed this pattern where a lot of the moms struggled with yo-yo dieting or, throughout their life. And so I kind of shifted gears and realized that I wanted to work with the moms because then once they got a healthy relationship with food, then they could go beyond themselves, which is the second part of my book that we're focusing on here today, which is how to raise confident, intuitive eaters.
So I think we're gonna move right into our first little snack idea, right? The apples.
Yeah, so the number one thing that I get asked a lot is how do I incorporate more fruits and vegetables, right? And you want to make sure that we keep it, fun and healthy and, but not make them feel upset if they want the chips or the things that maybe are more fun foods. So I brought two examples that I use in my home with my children, and it is apple pizza. And this is a vegetable platter that I put out while I'm cooking dinner for my kids, but we can talk about that.
Yeah, because the apple pizza looks really good. And so I'm gonna start cutting some up for myself. And this looks like a really great way for kids to get involved with what they're eating.
Yeah. I mean, what you said in the beginning, right? We're stressed, we don't have a lot of time. So raising my kids, what I realized is I didn't want to fight with them over eating fruits and vegetables at their dinner. So they were hungry right before dinner. So that's when I would have this set up so that they can be involved and they're always more likely to try things when they're doing it themselves. So apple pizza was my fun way of, instead of just the typical apple slices with peanut butter, it made it so that I could set out different things. So you're using peanut butter right now,
right.
But you can use almond butter. If your child has nut allergies, you can use sun butter, cookie butter, anything that you want to kind of be the sauce.
Yeah.
And then to lay out different toppings and let them choose. So kids are natural intuitive eaters, which means they eat when they're hungry, they stop when they're full. Now, moms, just know that it's your job to provide the choices for your kids. You get to give them options and get them involved, but you get to decide what snack options they have for that day. And so you can put out different toppings and you can change it day by day. It makes it really easy for you, especially if they're younger, you can slice up the apples ahead of time. If they're older, they can slice them up themselves. And then just let them pick toppings. So here I like to do like a cacao powder. My kids wouldn't normally eat that, but they love it on top of the peanut butter on these slices. You can chop up nuts, seeds. We have some blueberries here. And you can don't be afraid to maybe put out some sprinkles or mini marshmallows. You can make it fun. It doesn't need to be all quote unquote healthy foods. You can kind of mix it up and show them that you can play with food. And it really just encourages them to try it and to eat more.
Yeah, and I love this recipe because I feel like you can make it really individualized to what each child likes. If they don't like blueberries, maybe you could cut up some strawberries.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome.
One thing that I always like to do is if I'm going to introduce a new food that I want them to try, when you're doing something that kids like, consistency. They like to know what to expect. So just incorporating one new thing, maybe a week, into the different toppings that you might want to add in allows them to experience new foods because their taste buds change over time, but also give them the consistency that they crave.
I love these little apple pizzas because they can be easily individualized and they're a good way to get the kids involved. So I love that. And let's move into the veggie tray because I see that in addition to the veggies, you also added some more fun foods. So what is the purpose behind that?
Yes. So now I'm not saying that, you would have this exact tray out. I'm not, it's a lot of different foods, but I wanted to make sure we had enough examples to show you. So like I had said earlier, my kids, I noticed that pattern, right, that they were hungry before dinner. So I don't really serve vegetables with my dinners. It's just a family choice. And I always encourage moms to make those decisions for yourself with what works. So use these ideas, but play with them a little. So you pick, a bunch of different foods. So I would lay out a bunch of different fruits and vegetables that I would want them to eat, and dips. So we have the hummus and guacamole, or you can do your favorite dressing. But personally, this is the part where I worked with eating disorders. And so I always want food to be neutral. I find that kids crave muffins or cookies or sweets when it's not as forbidden. So I like to play around and mix it with the fruits and vegetables. I don't do it every day. Sometimes it's just fruits and vegetables with the dips, but I like to throw in a little Cheez-Its or muffins. And I actually found that over time, the more I did that, sometimes they wouldn't even pick those options. And it's not that I don't include them outside of this tray, but I just really want them to see that it can be a mix of both. Having some cucumbers isn't erased just because they have a muffin.
Right. And I'm sure anytime you can get your kid to eat some broccoli, it's a win as a mom.
Exactly.
Even if it's one piece.
I think that's such a good point. Also, is to really feel calm and confident as a mom, that even if they eat one piece of broccoli or one bite of cucumber, it's a win. As they get older, this is all what's going to be kind of incorporated into their life as they get older. So even new fruits and vegetables, I'll ask my kids, what vegetable do you want mommy to buy at the store? Now they're a little older, I don't say mommy. But that's how I would learn what they would like. Sometimes they would say things that would really surprise me, like they would want, what are those sugar snap peas? That, they would say peas. And so that's when I realized they like sugar snap peas or edamame and mango. And they would say things I didn't even know they liked and I wouldn't naturally buy myself. And so, it's always great to ask them questions, and that's another way to keep them involved.
Right, and that also speaks to, in your book you talk about how kind of we're in this age of mindful eating and being mindful and eating intuitively. So, this looks like a great example of that and what kids naturally do.
Yeah, so here, in terms of mindful eating, here is a practical way that you can incorporate it that is easy and seamless, and you can do it while you're cooking dinner and they're eating. So let's say you bring in something new that you want them to try. I like to tell my kids, let's be a scientist, So when they try a bite, what does it smell like? What does it taste like? Let them rate it. Do we want to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? And not to react if they don't like it, but to make it fun. And that allows them to be more present and to, that's what mindful eating is, right? It's being present with your food, tasting it, smelling it, experiencing it. So by asking those questions, it allows them to learn mindful eating without you explaining what it is.
So in an ideal world, you put this platter out and your kids would be like, that's fantastic. But what if you have that kid that's like, Mom, I want those barbecue chips, give them to me now. How do you address that situation?
Yeah, here's what I would say. I would address it two ways, right? One, if you're watching this and your child is someone who always wants the chips and always has it and you are afraid to say no because you don't want to make them feel bad, you may want to start gently by always having a fun food mixed with the cucumbers, and it might, and tomatoes and broccoli and all of that stuff. Kind of mix it in and start to phase into just having the fruits and vegetables on some days. I wouldn't give it more attention than that. I would just include it. If that's not the case, you just want to start having this routine and having more fruits and vegetables on a daily basis and you don't want them to have the chips, that's okay. You totally should feel empowered to do that. What you can say in a gentle way is, yes, we're gonna have chips. Not today though, these are our snack choices for today, and gently move them away. Instead of saying, no, we're not having chips, which might, bring up, well, now I want them even more. Just say, yes, we are gonna have them. Not today though, this is what we're having for our snack right now.
Awesome, yeah, that's really helpful. So thank you, Karen, for being here. I hope you guys got to take away some good new snack ideas for your kids after school when they're feeling kind of hungry. And if you have any topic that you would like to see Karen talk about next time, please leave it in the comments below and maybe we'll make a video about that.
I can't wait. Thank you so much.